One of this year's biggest CitizenCon bombshells was the reveal of the future of spaceflight in Star Citizen and Squadron 42 and how it is going to affect combat in particular. And we've seen a lot of people get quite emotional following what was revealed in the footage we saw, and in this video I am going to explain why we should instead sit back and watch. Hello and welcome to the channel, it's the Eradicator, and today I wanted to go over Cloud Imperial Games' decision to rework Star Citizen and Squadron 42's flight model and why I believe that we should wait and see for ourselves before we shout all over the internet and how bad it is and how much better this or that or the flight model was. Now, of course, that does not mean that we shan't express our opinions or inform the developers of our reservations. What I mean is that, as passionate as we can be about the project, we do not have Chris Roberts' full vision in mind, nor all of the tools at our disposal the developers have. In fact, we are, in fine, the consumers of that vision, the ones who are at the receiving end of it, and so, for us, there won't really be any other means of finding out whether Yogi Klatt and his team are heading in the right direction or not than trying this out by ourselves, when eventually it ships in the quarterly release during the course of the future Alpha 4.x branch throughout the year 2023. Now, that being said, I do understand why there are so many people out there who eventually get frustrated by the changes that were announced. After all, it is not fun practicing and mastering cargo hauling on your own only to be told that you'll be vulnerable when exiting quantum travel because your shields will be down and that you'll be at the mercy of any pirate that would have decided disrupting established trade lanes and that was a smart business decision, right? It's also not fun to practice player versus player combat on a daily basis, whether you are a member of a squadron, a lone wolf, or a dedicated content creator, and then realize that the skills you acquire, the videos or guide you would have spent days to create, would have had to be flushed down the drain because they would have become irrelevant, and getting upset for that is actually understandable. After all, I too have advised people at multiple times on this channel that we should use the development downtime to hone our skills, and since we've been stuck waiting for Alpha 3.18 for months now, so perhaps maybe I should have specified that it should not go to extreme length when it comes to perfecting skills. Now, that being said, if we are totally honest with ourselves though, seeing Cloud Imperial Games making over entire spans of gameplay at this stage of development should not be a surprise and should still be expected. After all, we are still in alpha phase, so it is normal to see such changes being made, and in fact not everyone in the community nor at Cloud Imperial Games have been satisfied with the current model, which might have been satisfactory for hardcore pilots, but has been quite frankly frustrating for more casual players, and that is a problem because the reality is that if you want to keep a player base alive, sure, you've got to offer the difficult enough challenge to the hardcore players, but casual players must also be offered an experience that would feel accessible enough so that they could at least be given the illusion that they could stand a chance against more seasoned players, and I believe that this is what the new flight model will be about. The main issue that the developers rose during the presentation was that combat was taking place at speeds that were considered to be too high to offer a satisfactory experience to most players who, quite frankly, do enjoy seeing the ships they are fighting against. It is much more gratifying than just looking at a faraway target that we can barely hit because it's just too far away. It makes combat feel less abstract, and therefore, it makes combat feel more abstract, sorry, and therefore less relatable and less exciting. And that is, of course, going to be possible if weapon range is going to be drastically reduced, which is also something that we are going to have, and eventually it's going to also benefit the turrets of capital ships that are going to be more competitive in the time being. Now, the other big change that will come over the new flight model is how large distances will be covered And here quantum travel will be split into two different modes, one for long distances, similar to the one that we have right now, and one for interplanetary systems, which will involve some kind of manual control, a little bit like how wormhole travel is going to work. Also, pilots will be able to fly at sub-light speed in a sort of cruise mode, but it would not be possible to do that without taking power off the shields, meaning that pilots will only have access to their shields at lower speeds used for combat or maybe approaching a station or before landing or docking, right? This has especially been controversial for traders who will then become very vulnerable to attackers, but this is also the intended gameplay of the studio, and that it's the gameplay that they want to encourage, risk and reward gameplay. You want to trade alone, then it's going to be very risky, but you will not have to share the profits. While if you trade with a crew and an escort, it's not going to fill your bank account that much, but at least it will be a more secure approach. Anyway, guys, that is what I had to say about the future flight model of the game, but let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Are you concerned with the changes that were announced, or something that makes you excited about? I'm quite excited about it, but I guess that, as I said, time will see. Anyway, if you answer the question and subscribe to the channel, well, we've got a Spirit C1 to give away, so good luck to everyone out there. Also, feel free to join our Discord channel. We've got a wonderful community there you can play with, and sometimes I play with you guys as well whenever I have time. And if you join us over there, then we have another giveaway. It is an A1 with LTI. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you join us on Discord, don't forget to join our video sharing contest for the giveaway, or you can also become a Patreon member. And also, I want to give a big shout out to my Patreon, without whom I would not be able to make all of that content, especially Dr. Fobin, Geek Citizen, Captain Steak, Zero Crusher, and Wolfpack Pug. It's been the Eradicator. I wish you guys a wonderful day. I will see you guys later.